Hi, I'm Dr. Matt B, and these are your emotional minutes. One of the things I realized is that actually positive emotions would be a really good thing to talk about. One, because I actually have a training in research-based positive emotion strategies, but then two, those have really been shown to boost people's mood and well-being and to actually limit or prevent things like depression, anxiety, really just kind of low sense of well-being. And so really when we look at positive emotions, this has been an area of research that's actually really come up a lot in the last, probably 10, 15 years or so. And what that research looks at is these sort of ways that you can boost your own emotions in your everyday life. And luckily it doesn't take medication. It just really takes a little bit of effort and some time. And so a lot of this research is kind of running under the assumption that you can't just sit and sort of let yourself or tell yourself or will yourself to feel better. Unfortunately, we as humans just don't work that way. That would be pretty sweet if we did, but you can't just kind of sit and tell yourself to feel better. Really, what a lot of this research does is it runs under the assumption that there's actually behaviors or activities that you can do that give you a good feeling. And you probably recall this in your own life, times where you did things like, maybe played an enjoyable sport or felt a sense of accomplishment after creating a craft or doing some sort of project at home or something like that. So what a lot of this research has looked at, and what we want to cover in a number of episodes coming up, we're going to do a whole series on it here, is really some of those strategies. What are those research-based strategies to really boost your own positive emotions in your own life? What a lot of this research also looks at is sort of our own ability to kind of make these things happen. Sometimes people will sort of think or assume that their external world or things going on outside of their own body or their own behavior is sort of controls 100% of how happy or how not happy they're going to be. So the idea might be things like circumstances around me are making it so that I'm unhappy, or when things change, or if I move locations, then I'll feel better. And to some degree, these things actually can affect our mental health. That's legitimate and valid. But typically around 50% of life is what happens to us, and about the other 50% is how we respond to what happens to us. And so a lot of this research looks at how do you use these sort of ways, or that 50%, to actually boost your own emotions to feel better from day to day, and really help yourself get a more positive sense of well-being and to decrease negative emotions. So like I said, we're going to do a series on really talking about and going into some depth about some of these positive emotion strategies that you can do. And a couple things about these is, as we go through them, sometimes it can seem overwhelming, like, there's so many, but really after a while, kind of picking the ones that seem like they work for you and being able to pick, a couple different ones, maybe 2, 3, 4 of them, and really sort of putting a lot of variety into them. So, engaging in different activities that, sort of fit within a certain category. Acts of kindness is one of them, for example, which we'll go over. Another thing about these is a lot of these really actually take a lot of intention or purposeful behavior or purposeful action. So they're really things that, take us sort of scheduling in and saying, okay, I'm going to take some time and do this on purpose. They can be sort of small things, but that actually really go a long way in terms of boosting positive emotion. These can actually be scheduled in intentionally into our schedules. So you might say, yeah, I'm going to do these certain activities on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Or you might actually sort of be ready to do them and just notice, hey, this is a tougher day where I'm more stressed and I'm feeling and thinking more negatively. I'm going to break these out, I didn't plan to, but I'm going to intentionally do some of these strategies in order to boost my mood on purpose. And usually actually a mix of both of those things, sort of scheduling these activities in, but also breaking them out when you need them, is actually a really good way to go about it and a really effective way to use these tools. And I'm pretty excited to jump into this with you in terms of really giving and providing a lot of those tools and strategies. So stay tuned. That'll be the next 6 or 7 episodes or so. We'll go into a lot of these strategies. So see you then. Looking forward to it. And again, these are your emotional minutes, and we'll see you next time.